I know for the longest time Minnesota was basically like it was hemp derivatives, right? And
Still, yeah, still.
Yeah. Still.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a lot going on.
Yeah. All right. So I'm really curious because is it going medical? Is it going rec? Like, or is it?
It's going recreational.
Okay.
So I can start and then you can keep going.
Okay, hey folks, this is Juhasz, and we are back with MITA Unshackled here at MJ BizCon 2023, and we have gone through, I lost count of how many states, but Dimitri dipped off, so I'm running this one. We have some awesome guests today, and we're going to be talking about Minnesota. But before, there was Dimitri. Dimitri, you want your glasses too? No, he's gone. Okay. So anyway, so I'm Maxime SEO with
Martez. I am an account executive at DIZPOT. We do custom packaging, branding, and logistics.
Okay, so as we've been doing this, we've literally done, I'm not even sure what episode number this is, but we've been going state by state, talking to experts on each state. I'm very happy to have you ladies here. So I literally just met you a couple seconds ago, so we're going to go through, whoever wants to go first, who are you, what do you do, and how long have you been in cannabis?
Awesome. Do you want me to start?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, well, hello everyone. Nice to meet you all.
Pleasure.
My name is Mónica Sánchez. I am an attorney in Costa Rica. I came to the U.S. a couple of years ago, so I currently work in a legal firm in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Okay.
Currently as a paralegal. And our main focuses or area of law is cannabis and hemp law. We also do business transactions, corporate law, and everything that businesses need to grow. Our focus is in small businesses, minority owners, women owners. So yeah, that's what we do, and I'm very excited to be here. So thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. Absolutely. Absolutely. How long have you been working in cannabis? Like
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not a long time.
Okay.
I'm not like the biggest expert out of the experts, but I have learned a lot. And it's just fascinating. It's a very interesting area, very new in the law, very challenging. And I love just keep studying it every day.
Is this your first BizCon?
It is. It is.
Nice. What do you think?
Welcome.
Yeah, I love it. It's huge in comparison to the other conference that I'm used to.
Right.
But yeah, the people is very nice, so I'm very happy to be here.
How is this compared to a law conference?
Oh, very different. I actually talked with one of my friends, and I was like, "Oh, this is like no lawyers. I mean, I know they're lawyers, but like I haven't met a lot yet." And it's just nice to be around different areas of business and different people.
Nice.
Oh, he's telling me to move back.
Yep. Well, first of all, thank you for having us here.
Oh, our pleasure.
And my name is Maxine. I'm with the Cannabis Business Advisors, and we are a full-service cannabis business consulting firm. So we assist with licensing across the U.S. We also assist with partnerships, mergers, acquisitions, JVs, and then we do assist people with helping them opening up. Can't speak. I'm so tired now.
Yeah, I know.
It's like the end of the day. But we also help clients open up their facilities, whether it's like a dispensary, grow, processing facility. I have been in the industry for 9 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a long ride, and
That's a lifetime and a half.
That was about to
in
say.
cannabis, Yeah.
we like to joke
Yeah.
around and say that like cannabis is like dog years. It's like
Oh, yeah.
7
Yep.
times 7 or whatever. But yes. So I've been doing that for a long time, and excited to talk about Minnesota. Didn't grow up. Sorry, my business partner grew up in Minnesota.
Okay.
She's from Minnetonka, Minnesota, and I went to school in Mankato, Minnesota. So we knew from the beginning that Minnesota was one of the markets that we would definitely be participating in. Yeah.
I know I'm excited for Minnesota.
Yeah.
Just on so many levels. So what's going on in Minnesota? Because I know for the longest time Minnesota was basically like it was hemp derivatives, right? And
Still. Yeah, still.
Yeah. Still.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a lot going on.
Yeah. All right. So I'm really curious because is it going medical? Is it going rec? Like, or is it?
It's going recreational.
Okay.
So I can start and then you can keep going. So we just legalized recreational marijuana on May of
Okay.
this year. So a few months ago.
Right.
We are the 23rd state in legalized marijuana. So that's great news.
Yep.
I know the state was pushing towards that. But before that, we still have a medical cannabis program, and we grew a lot in the hemp industry with the passage of a new law, or not a new law, but an amendment on the law that allows hemp-derived cannabinoids in edibles and beverages.
Right.
That was in 2022. So like that's still in place with some amendments that happened this year. And that's why the Minnesota market is huge in infused beverages and edibles. You can find these beverages in grocery stores, gas stations, hemp-derived stores. So we are huge on that.
That's
But
massive. That's not like most states too. Most states are very. I think there's a pushback on drinks and other stuff, but Minnesota's like completely just adopted. Like we love our hemp CBD THC drinks.
yeah.
That's, what do you think is different there? Like why was the adoption so much?
I personally think that that's what the consumer wanted. Like,
So they actually listen to their consumers?
I would say so.
Well, I think it's because the medical program was so limited.
Okay.
So it legalized
That's-
medical marijuana forever ago. And there
Right.
were only really, 2 licensees that were issued vertical licenses, and
Yeah.
they're vertical, meaning like they have to grow, they have to process, they have to dispense. And I think each licensee was able to open up to 4 dispensaries. So that's it for
Okay.
medical marijuana in Minnesota. And so because it's so limited, and what qualifies you as a patient in order to access marijuana, medical marijuana in Minnesota is super limited and conservative. So
Oh, really?
yeah.
So the qualifying conditions
Well,
conditions
yeah.
are
Very limited.
Yeah,
Really?
it's not like, what is the one qualifying medical condition that opens up the floodgates? Chronic pain.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And actually, it's interesting that you're saying that because I was reading that, I mean, this Medical Marijuana Act passed in 2014, and they consider it as one of the most restrictive acts in the U.S. because they have limited conditions for you to qualify as a patient. And then, as you said, like just 2 medical licenses. So the medical is very restrict, I would say. And when this law about hemp-derived infused products came, like the market just boomed, and the reactions have been great. Like consumers are happy; you can find it everywhere. It's
Yeah.
federally legal.
Yeah, everybody that I know in Minnesota is very excited for this. So
Yeah.
so it passed the rec. When did the dispensary start opening up?
So,
this is the question we want to talk about.
Yeah,
so what's
sure.
going on here?
TBD.
Yeah, TBD.
So the law passed in May, but
Okay.
it's gonna be effective until March of 2025 for dispensaries, even though adult use is already legal starting August of this year.
Okay.
So yeah, we are in this limbo where the Office of Cannabis Management, which is the office that is gonna overview the hemp, cannabis, and medical
Yeah.
industry, is trying to work on not only naming a director, which we just have an interim one right now.
Right. I was gonna say it was like just recently where they announced who it was. That they were gonna start working on it.
Oh, they're
But
finally
yeah.
gonna have a director.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the very first step.
Somebody's gonna steer the ship. We're gonna get this done.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, without it, I mean, we need guidance there because they need to implement the rules. They need to give guidance as to how the law is going to be implemented. And is a slow process. So we have more than a year already to actually see dispensaries and people actually getting.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Cannabis.
a while because they have to develop rules and regulations, and then after they develop rules and regulations, usually about 2 to 4 months later, they start to accept applications, or they publish the applications material for licensing, and then they still have to accept applications. Then they have time to review the applications, issue the licenses, and then those people still have to open. So it's
Long
gonna take some
process.
time. Yeah, it's gonna be like at least a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wow.
Do you
We'll
think
get
the
there.
recreational program is going to be kind of as strict as the medical program was?
No.
No.
Yeah, I think
good.
Minnesota kind of saw the writing in the wall, and they're like, we kind of have to open it up. But it's gonna take a while for for new businesses to open up. But
Right.
usually the existing licensees are grandfathered in. So the medical marijuana facilities right now will probably have the first,
They'll get first
stab
crack
at
at
the,
going right.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So there'll be access, but limited.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's no. So besides them though, but like, wow.
And it's interesting because the licensing is different too. So
Yeah.
they went from like such a conservative like vertical license model to now there's like so many different licenses for
Yeah.
rec. There's this new license called Mezzo Business that I haven't even heard
What
of.
is a mezzo business? Tell me
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Do you want to
Sure.
describe Mezzo?
Yeah, so there are 13 different type of licenses that are gonna start. with
Let's
this
not make
new
this
law.
too complicated. We're gonna
I
start
know.
with 13.
Yeah, just 13 licenses, but like you have from cultivator license
Okay.
to manufacturer, retailer, and there's these two called micro business license and meso business license. So the difference between one and another is that the meso business license can have up to 3 retail locations,
Okay.
and also like the meso license mixes cultivation, manufacturing, and retailing. So,
So it's kind of vertically integrated, but it's.
but within one,
Okay,
correct.
gotcha.
And the cultivation is like 30,000 acres or whatever.
Square feet,
Yeah.
The square
Yeah.
feet is versus the micro business license, which is only up to 1 retail location instead of 3. And if you cultivate, it's less. It's like 15,000 instead of 30,000. So that's the main difference. But also, these licenses include not only the cannabis licenses, but also the hemp-derived licenses.
Oh, so you can do both.
Yeah, the law mixes both. I
Right.
personally think that the law should separate hemp and cannabis because it's just different
It's
regulations.
going to be
Yeah,
muddy.
that's
But
gonna
what
be
I
really
think was
muddy.
interesting about the mezzo business licenses is they're not this law that they just passed not only legalized recreational, but they're issuing more medical marijuana licenses too.
Really?
So the mezzo business includes the ability to grow and to sell for both adult use and medical.
All right, so that's.
That's
yeah.
like that was
Okay.
really interesting to me. Yeah.
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 That's so they can basically balance it out, and like if you can do both.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And there's also the medical licenses within the same law.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's-
everything is mixed.
Yeah. Yeah. They're gonna have to.
This is gonna be exciting to watch for sure.
It is, for
Yeah.
sure.
But they have
Yeah.
like different licenses too that, most states like take a while to even carry out. So they have wholesale, they have event organizers now. So that's going to be interesting to see how that works in Minnesota.
Yeah. Transported license, delivery service license,
Yeah.
testing licenses. So
Yeah.
if you want to
Well, you
be
need
a
labs,
lab,
Yeah. Yeah.
you need to have the license, which before this doesn't exist currently. So you can hire, what businesses are doing is like you just hire a third-party lab that you trust and
Right.
is accurate in the results. And then that's how you create your COAs and everything. But with this licensing, now
Well,
you have to be licensed.
With aren't COAs just for like hemp and hemp derived versus cannabis?
Right now, because hemp is the only thing that is actually in the market,
No, 'cause
yes, but it will come.
I've done marketing for both dispensaries and like CBD and like hemp companies, so I know like COAs are an absolute must if you want to stay compliant. So
Correct.
It's interesting that that they're giving you a hemp license and a cannabis license, and then
You cannot have both, though.
okay. So
if you
it's-
have a
it's one
hemp
or the other.
license, you cannot have a cannabis. But
Okay.
if you have a cannabis license, you may be able to sell hemp-derived products. So it's
Here we go. This is like a dartboard. Okay,
See what
so,
sticks.
but if you wear blue, you can never wear red.
yeah, that's what I think is very important to seek legal advice or consulting
Yeah.
because the law right now is a 300-page statute. We have read it like 1,000 times, and still it's impossible to
It's
know.
still really
Wrap your head
confusing,
around,
right?
yeah.
Like it's very confusing. Everything is make some provisions in the hemp area are also in the cannabis, and it's just a little confusing. And
Has anybody
punitive.
printed out the entire thing and just put it up on a wall right now so you can kind of like point to what page to do
Yeah.
for a visual reference on page 6, paragraph whatever?
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so with this, so they're still writing the regulations. So are they even accepting license? Okay.
Yeah.
So when do you think this is going to happen for the regulations to be written and for licensees to be able to apply?
I think that they're going to probably start. We're going to start to see some activity next year, for
Okay.
sure.
I hope
Yeah.
so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they'll have like a draft, and then they'll have to go through like public commenting, and then
Right.
finalizing the rules. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's supposed that like, by January of 2025, you're supposed to have everything ready
Yeah.
because the law is in effect in March.
Gotcha.
So hopefully by that time, but 2024 is going to be an interesting year
For sure.
of drafting.
For sure, yeah. And it seems like 2025 is so far away, but it's
Not.
It's
yeah.
not.
Yeah.
It's going to be here in a year.
It's already
It-
2024.
yeah, it's already.
Yeah.
It basically is already 2024. It's like Christmas, boop. You
Yep.
know?
Yeah.
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 By the way, yeah, it's because December 1st is tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
The year
right
is
into
gone.
it.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, awesome. I feel like I should have like a bajillion questions, but since the rules aren't written yet, there's.
Well, we can talk about, what a lot of people ask, are asking now is like, how are they going to issue these licenses,
There you
right?
go. See, this is- yeah.
Yeah, there's just
Okay.
so many ways that, I've seen states issue licenses. There's really the main three ways: lottery, right, which everybody loves, lottery, merit-based, and then sometimes you'll see checklists, which is, an open market like New Jersey, Michigan, Massachusetts, where they're just issuing licenses. There's no cap, and so
Right.
as long as you meet that checklist and you're compliant, they'll issue you your license, like
Okay.
in California. But yeah, that's something that we don't know yet. A lot of people think it's probably going to be merit-based. It points towards that,
Okay.
right, where they're only going to. We don't even know how many licenses they're going to issue. So the Office of Cannabis Management will have to determine, based on the rules and regulations, and for supply and demand for the state, how many licenses per license type they're going to issue and how they're actually going to issue it. But right now, based on the law, they are going to be asking for business plans, security plans, like all of your operational plans to gauge whether or not you're capable of opening one of these. So at least we know that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and to add to that, Maxi, like actually, depending on how much of these checklists you have done, like business plan, the whatever it is, you have points. So like the more points you have, the more likely it is for you to have a license. And
Okay.
also it has the social equity component. So if you are a social equity applicant, you can have more points.
So, question is this though. So, if somebody were to I'm interested in starting a cannabis business in Minnesota, are they able to put together a business plan without knowing the regulations or the way the laws are going to be? Obviously the laws, but for the structure of it all,
Yeah.
can you just put together a general business plan and then fine tune it based on
Yeah.
regulations,
you
or
can.
should you wait?
That is something I would do.
Okay.
So, I've clients. I've worked with clients before a law passes.
Right.
I think I
This is
worked
what
with.
we're gonna do.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody-
Because you can always
Right.
steer the ship a little differently.
Yeah,
and
we
make-
like to say that it's like baking a cake. It just depends on the concept is similar. It's just the recipes are different. So are we
Right.
baking a red velvet? Are we baking a chocolate cake? It's just
I get what you mean.
different, right? But we always need an oven.
Yeah.
or whatever the case is. And so
You're
the
always gonna need a
ingredients-
mixing bowl.
right. The ingredients are just different, and so, but we've helped so many clients across the United States open up their businesses. The first thing you want to do is educate yourself, especially
Right.
with Minnesota, where we have so much information. Usually, there's not a lot of information in the
Okay.
laws or the act or an initiative if it passes. The details are usually in the rules and regulations, but
Okay.
Minnesota did provide a lot of information in the law that actually passed. So it gives you some sort of a framework. So what kind of license are you interested in? Why do you want to open that type of business? Does it suit your lifestyle and your goals for what you want to do in this space? And so you can definitely put a business plan together and some sort of a financial pro forma. There is enough, there is enough in the industry across the U.S. to find comparable markets and put some sort of numbers together to kind of gauge, what your business model is going to look like. And so that's
Initial investment,
Yeah.
what
Right.
kind of building, what you're looking at.
And also with the general requirements that are already in the law, like consulting, business partners, attorneys, we have the capacity and the experience to actually help you navigate those issues and see okay, what can we draft together so we can have something to work on.
Yeah.
And then once the regulations are released, then you can just modify it or edit, but you have the base. And the most important thing is having a business plan so you know what you want to do, and then you can select with your attorney or your consultant the right type of license.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, I'm excited for Minnesota. This is going to be awesome. So I just want to thank you, ladies. How, so if anybody's interested in getting involved in the cannabis business in Minnesota, how do they get in touch with you? How do they contact you? 3
Sure.
minutes? You could talk about yourselves for 3 minutes.
No, well, before
plug away.
so just now that we
Yeah.
have 3 minutes before giving my contact information. Also, I just wanted to touch base on how important it is for the people to just look into the Minnesota market and decide what you want to do. That's the first thing that we already discussed. And also just be aware that there's a big issue going on in Minnesota regarding like a potential lawsuit against the state for some unconstitutional matters that are within the current law, but hemp and etc. So it's just very important also to be advice and guidance about it. I'm very optimistic about the Minnesota market, and I hope that everything.
So you're saying even from a hemp market, though, you should have an attorney, basically.
Yeah, for everything. I would say.
Yeah.
So yeah, we at Esmer's Legal, we have worked in this industry for several years. My boss is Ann Burns. She's an excellent attorney. I work with her. If you wanna contact us, you can reach out to us at our website, esmerslegal.com. Or my email. I don't know if I should like.
If you want to put it, if for anybody that watches, we'll drop it across the bottom of the screen.
Okay, sure, yeah,
absolutely.
Perfect.
Awesome.
What's the email?
Oh, yeah. I was like, somebody have it there.
Unless it's like super long and we have to spell it out. You can just say, hey, here's the website. Just look me up.
Yeah, esmernslegal.com or
okay.
Monica at esmernslegal.com.
There you go. What about you, Maxine?
And we're super original. It's the Cannabis Business Advisors.com. That's our website. If you want to get a hold of us, our contact information is on the website, under the contact us page. Very original.
Right on. Right on. Well, awesome.
Yes.
Ladies, thank you so much. I'm very, very, very excited for Minnesota and everything that's going on there. Eric's giving us this. Anyway, this has been another episode of MITA Unshackled at MJ Biz. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Right on.
Yep.
Can't wait to see what goes on, and hopefully we'll be able to sit here and do this again next year.
Hopefully.
With all sorts of wonderful new info and updates.
A lot will be next year.
Yeah. All righty.